Hello and welcome to Live with Geo and Gonzo. Will be getting underway in 1 minute. Tonight we'll be discussing the Premier League, taking a look at Fantasy League and interacting with the live chat as well. So if you're on the stream, get involved in the live chat, get your questions in now, get your topics in now, and we'll get through them as we go on. We'll be here for about 45 minutes to an hour, so we've got loads of time to chat to you. Get involved and we'll see you in a minute. We're live. Gonzo, how are you doing tonight? Not too bad. I've got the Friday feeling a little bit. I'm feeling good. It's last weekend the Premier League kicked off, but because I was at the West Ham game, you don't get to enjoy all the television as such, you know. So I was trying to watch the Liverpool Norwich game on my way down to London, and I watched the West Ham game. Then me and Charlie went to the Bat and Ball to watch the Spurs Villa game. But we had some people with us from the boats, so we couldn't completely focus on it. But I got to watch the games on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to this weekend. You know, we've got a Championship game tonight, loads of Premier League football over the weekend, and a Premier League game on Monday night as well. So lots of football for everybody to watch, and I shall not be moving from the sofa apart from doing the Brighton review. But anyway, how are things? The live chat's saying you're mute. That's fine. I think I know how to sort that. You should be sorted when you next speak. So you're looking forward to the Premier League this weekend?
It's going to be.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not.
Sorry.
We're not used to this yet.
No. Okay, I'm unmuted, am I?
We'll find out in 30 seconds.
We'll find out in 30 seconds. I watched the Norwich and Liverpool game. That was really good. So it was weird. I think I don't know why they did it. I would have preferred them to have launched everything. I don't know. I think the first game of the season, I would have liked them to have played everything in one day. I know Wolves have played in Europe and everything like that, but it's but it was good. I enjoyed the game. I thought Norwich were better than I expected them to be.
Yeah, I'm glad they're sticking to their philosophy they had last season, but when you looked at what they were saying over the summer, it was expected. They were never going to sort of change the way they play. They weren't going to change the way they're going about their transfer business. They've stuck to what got them promoted, and I like that. And I watched a lot of the Liverpool game, and I thought they played well. There's a few games this weekend that you look at the result, and I would say that the result does not reflect the game. And I don't think Norwich deserved to get a 4-1 thumping. I was glad Pukki scored, actually. He's going to be an interesting one this season. I think it said something like in his last 8 seasons, he scored with his first shot on target. That's a ridiculous stat, but well taken goal. Norwich will do all right. I don't know who they're playing this weekend. We should have really looked at the fixture before we came on.
I've got it all here, mate. We got the technology now, Gio. This is the difference now. I'll tell you exactly who Norwich have got this weekend. They are at home and they are facing Newcastle. So 3 o'clock kick-off at the same time as we're playing tomorrow, mate.
Got to fancy them. Do you fancy Norwich to win that one? Get the first 3 points?
Well, I thought Newcastle were quite impressive, actually. I thought they looked like they were doing a good job against Arsenal. From the limited bit I've seen, I can't claim to have watched the whole game, but I keep forgetting the geezer's name. He's in my fantasy league team. It begins with A. Newcastle.
Miro.
No. Yeah, I always forget his name. Almiron. I really
Newcastle
like
guy,
him.
Yeah, Almiron.
Yeah. Almiron. The guy they signed there was their record signing last season. Signed him in January, didn't they? Fantastic player. I mean, he caused them all sorts of bother. I don't think it's that clear cut. It's going to be really interesting Premier League actually because, obviously we go on whatever. It's a bit of a mishmash. It's more of a chat. This isn't more than anything else. But if you looked at Sheffield United, who are snarly and nasty, and then got into their rhythm and started bunging over loads of crosses. Brighton were a complete surprise. Norwich. These are all teams that many of us would have had to go down. Burnley, you maybe sort of wonder when their luck's going to be up. Apart from Drinkwater, they didn't really bring anyone in. Ashley Barnes and all that was brilliant. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see who goes down. It's not going to be clear cut, and it may well take until Christmas for it to settle down and for us to work out who the crap teams are. Really, Southampton's another one. I mean, there's loads to discuss, Gio, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick with Norwich to win that game. I'm glad that Buendia got an assist because I've got him in my fantasy league team. And that was sort of, when we did the show before the fantasy league kicked off, I said that was sort of my not my wild card, but my punt, if you like, and Buendia. I got his assist. Problem is, I had him on my bench. He didn't get any points. Newcastle, I think Steve Bruce had an opportunity to go for it against Arsenal. And I think when he's seen Arsenal's lineup, he's seen that Emery was resting a few players, or he's been a bit cautious because Pepe had African nations and Cabellos had only just joined. Tierney and Louise wasn't fit enough. So Bruce had he benched your French winger guy, Saint Maximin, or how do you say his name?
Yeah, Sam Maxime.
Yeah, I mean the best thing he did was that flip. Did you see that flip he did when he got knocked down? He was on his back.
Yeah, I'll do
Shawn
it.
Michaels.
I do it all the time when Mrs. Gonzo gives me a backhander in the house and knocks me to the floor. I always do that to get up, you know.
I've seen you do the reverse of that when you're drunk.
I'm better at the reverse of it, to be fair.
Up and down onto your arse. But I think Newcastle, while they did okay and they had a lot of hustle and bustle, I don't think it was a 1-0 game. I think Arsenal were perfectly in control of it, and I think they're going to struggle against Norwich, and I hope they do. I want Norwich to stay up this year. So I'm going to go for a home win on that. What are you fancying?
Oh, I didn't know we were predicting.
Yeah, let's do some predictions. We'll get a live chat as well.
Why not? I think 1-0. I think they were swashbuckling Norwich, but they might find it harder than they thought. And Arsenal were going to beat a lot of teams more than 1-0 this season. I think Arsenal will be very good. Yes, as you say, some players were rested, but they still had some good players out there. Arsenal are going to be a really good team this season, so I might go for a draw there, mate, to be fair. Well,
we'll go into the Arsenal game next, because that's a 12:30 kick-off on Saturday. But before we do, the live chat, can you let me know how my audio is, because in the last few episodes, my audio has been a lot different to Gonzo's, and we've been playing about with it a little bit. We think we might know how to crank it up a little bit, but I don't want to crank it right up, and you're all like, he's too loud now. So if it's still too low, I'll play around with it during, and hopefully we'll get the right level by the end of the night, so we'll know for the next one. But anyway, 12:30 kick-off. I know that this is the game because I'm looking forward to watching it. Arsenal against Burnley. Two teams with a win. Burnley with a big win against Southampton. Ashley Barnes, is he one of the most underrated Premier League strikers in Premier League right now? I'm not saying he's an amazing footballer or that, but I'm just talking about last season and the way he started this season. I think he's, form-wise and ability-wise, I think he's underrated.
Yeah, I think he is underrated, and I guess it's a fantasy league show as well. Not many people would have had him in their fantasy league team, of course, but they play a certain way, don't they, Burnley? And I think it was fantastic. The first goal I thought was the first goal control and hit across the keeper, very, very good, and he's got an awful lot going for him. It takes quite a lot to score a goal like that. I was listening to Sean Dyche's interview afterwards, and he was saying apparently he's not scored a goal all season, all pre-season. Sorry, he's been absolutely terrible. But he was saying he's one of those players who doesn't particularly train very well, doesn't do well in friendlies, but then he hits the ground running, and put him in a game situation, and he starts to come through. I was going to say worried about, but I don't worried about Burnley because I couldn't care less whether they stay up or go down. But I think I was thinking that they may well be candidates for relegation or maybe close to it because they didn't seem to strengthen. They didn't seem to spend much money. And when I was looking at the interview as well, Dyche had said, we don't have much money to spend at Burnley. And I know they brought drink water in, of course. I mean, why have you not got much money to spend? I understand that you don't have 100 million to spend, but you are still getting 150 million every season. Your wage bill's not high. Why can't you spend 50 million a season? Though clearly it's going somewhere, whether it's building a new training ground or whatever. I don't know the situation up there, but yeah. So I would have expected them to go and buy a striker, but they thrive. You remember they sold Gray to Watford. And that was really their main man. They sold him. And
before that, Danny Ings went to Liverpool.
Well, I don't think that was their main striker, to be perfectly honest. That's just some, cutting a bit of dead wood away from the squad, a bit of squad padding, Geo. But I think they've beared in mind they've lost a couple of strikers. He's a good manager. I like him. I like Dyche.
Yeah, I think Barnes is very underrated. I think it's just because he plays for Burnley, and he's not like a flair striker. He's not got pace or that, is he? He's just like a horrible grafter up front. He must be a nightmare for defenders, Spurs, and I think defenders must hate playing Burnley with Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes. You must just look at that and think, oh, we're get elbowed and kicked and pushed, and you get no time on the ball as the centre back because them two do hassle you. Where the rest of them sort of maybe I'll let you have the ball at the back if you like. I think Burnley did really well against Southampton. I thought they'd be fine this season. But you make a good point about the money. They must have, their wage structure must be pretty good because there's no one on their books that's going to be on like, I'd be surprised if their top earners on more than 70 grand a week, I'd imagine. They don't spend money, so where is the money? It does make you think a little bit, I guess. Don't know. Maybe in January they pull out a big money signing, but you've got to admire them a little bit, the way they go about stuff. But eventually they're going to be in a relegation battle. Last year they got out of it, but sooner or later come too soon. Arsenal looked good at Newcastle, and I was pleased to see him play Nelson and Willock from the start. Actually, the two teenagers. I thought they both did really, really well. I thought if he started, what are you doing?
Jazza asked in the chat what it says on my mug. I didn't want to interrupt you, so I was showing.
So you just put me off by putting him.
Listen, mate. To be fair, you were just tweeting about betting. So if you can multitask, then you can look at a mug and talk at the same time. Sorry to interrupt you with my ugly mug.
I was just putting my bet on for the Fulham game there. That's what I was doing. I was for those watching. I said to Gonzo before we went live. At some point, my thing from Sky Bet's going to come through with the odds, so I'm going to have to get on it. But it just came through. I was keeping an eye and watching it.
Are you going to share the love with the nice, lovely people that are watching live?
No, because I feel guilty if anyone backs it and it loses. But it's 14-1. I've done Fulham to score 2 goals, Knockhart to have 1 or more shots on target, 5 or more Fulham corners, and Huddersfield to get 20 booking points, which is 2 yellow cards. 14-1. Huddersfield's bookings this season, they've got 5 yellow cards this season in 2 games. Fulham had 8 corners in the last game. Huddersfield have been a bit crap this season, to be honest with you. Nancy Knockhart, he likes a shot. He's playing out on the right wing, likes a cutting on that left foot, as we all know. So I think 14-1. I think it's a good price. I thought it might be about 8-1, so I think 14-1. I have a little bit of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Whack a Bobby Moore on. Got a family to feed.
or to starve, depending on how the bet goes, Geo.
Yeah, quite. But yeah, back to Arsenal. I'd like to see Pepe starting. Lacazette missed out last week. It would be interesting to see how he fits all these attacking players in. I think David Luiz will be fantastic for them at the centre back. You have to look at Chelsea and Man United to see what they're missing. With Kurt Zuma's come in and he's been, he's made an error there, and he didn't have the best of games against Liverpool either. So you have to argue that David Luiz is actually what Chelsea are missing. Saying that, I think Chelsea have played quite well in the last couple of games, despite getting. But anyway, prediction: I'll go for an Arsenal win.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be Arsenal win. There's a lot of these teams that are going to have been on a high from the first week are going to get a thumping, and there'll be some teams who got a thumping on the first game. That'll be on a high. So I'll go for Arsenal win as well, particularly at home, and we should expect Pepe to feature.
What game would you like to quickly chat about next?
Next one down, Villa against Bournemouth, which is going to be interesting. Mings is returning to the club that sold him after what really was a good performance from Mings and from Villa themselves, who kept Tottenham honest for most of the game, Gio.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Villa's counter-attacking style was suited playing away to Spurs. Will it be so easy? Not easy for them. Will the game against Bournemouth suit them as much? Will they get as much opportunities to counter-attack? I think they might against Bournemouth. If there's a team at home you want to play counter-attacking football against, Bournemouth's probably one of the ones you want to World Cup. West Ham's probably the other one. You fancy playing us and getting opportunities to counter-attack. So they will also be looking at Bournemouth's game when they play Sheffield United. I thought they conceded a lot of chances to Sheffield United. McGoldrick could have had about a hat-trick before the deadlock was broken. And Bournemouth have got a couple of players missing as well. They're not quite fully fit. They don't have their first 11 out, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But Villa need to get a win on the books ASAP. They'll be disappointed to have lost that game at Spurs, and I do feel maybe they sat back a bit too much against Tottenham. It's a lot easier said than done because it's a natural thing to do, and Tottenham are so good they push you back. But Trezeguet looked a handful. Jack Grealish looked like he was up for it. Wesley was causing them troubles. So Villa have got a lot of good things going for them. Tyrone Mings was busy. I think he made something like 18 clearances or something against Spurs, which was about 8 more than any other player in the Premier League that weekend. So yeah, it was good game. I'll go for just something. I'm going to go for a Villa win, Gonzo.
I'm going to go for a Bournemouth win, just to be different. But I understand what you're saying about everyone can't keep on winning, and Bournemouth will be annoyed with that draw, actually, to Sheffield United, because they felt aggrieved. What he was quite restrained, Eddie Howe. They're going to be done with some VAR this season, Sheffield United. I'll tell you that much. So I think they'll have a bee in their bonnet. You're right. There's a few players missing, particularly the creative wide players. But if they're back, if Fraser's back or Watsit's back on the right, Brooks, then I fancy Bournemouth.
Yeah, that'd be a big addition for Bournemouth. I really like Brooks, actually. One of my favourite non-West Ham players in the Premier League, the way he plays, etc. I really like him. I just hope that Harry Wilson doesn't sort of hinder his first team action at Bournemouth, and he continues to sort of be the first choice right winger there.
Yeah. But they're both Welsh, aren't they?
Pardon?
They're both Welsh.
That's true, and they used to both start for Wales with Gareth Bale and Daniel James, Man United's new winger as well. So not a bad attack, Wales, with Aaron Ramsey in there as well. They've got a decent little setup going forward anyway.
They've needed one for a while, to be fair. They've always seemed to have only had one or two good players. They might be in a position now where they've got, well, if they can bet Bale as well, get Bale going and get Ramsey in there, and they've got some they've got, as you say, a lot of them are wide though, aren't they? That's their only problem. A lot of their players, they're mostly four of their most talented players are wide players. So anyway, we shall see. What else we got on? Brighton, West Ham, obviously we dealt with in our preview last night, which is on our main channel. Just reiterate, what was your prediction for that? It was 2-1, wasn't it, for you?
2-1 West Ham, yep.
Yeah, I said 3-1. But if you want to look at everything we said, and Mike was back, and Mike joined us. Mike of Mike on Monday fame was joining us last night, so that's on the main channel. Everton, Watford, Geo. Everton, Watford.
Two teams that'll be disappointed with last weekend's result, I think. Watford got slapped by Brighton, and Everton drew 0-0 against Palace, who had Zaha on the bench. And if you play Palace and they don't have Zaha starting, you're not going to get a better opportunity to beat them. So I think they'll be disappointed. But saying that, Sigurdsson had a shot cleared off the line. They had a few decent opportunities, Everton. And I'm going to go for a home win. But I think it's just because I quite like Everton. They've got Richarlison in there. Schneiderlin's suspended, which I actually think will benefit Everton. I think that's a massive blessing in disguise, if anything, because I don't really rate him. He's not a good replacement for Idrissa Gana Gueye. They've got that player in. They signed that for a player from Germany. They'd be better off just playing him alongside Gomez. So yeah, it'd be good to see Richarlison. And Iwobi didn't start against Palace, so I think he might get his but a lot of pressure on him. You're going to cost £40 million. You better turn up and be goddamn good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Watford struggled. I remember I did Katie's preview. I tipped him to be the first manager to be sacked, as much to do with Watford's owners being trigger happy as anything else. But I just thought it's hard for them to match what happened last season. My favourite player there, as regular watchers will know, is Deulofeu. He's picked up a knock. He had a knock a couple of weeks ago. He's picked up another knock, apparently. The only thing is their 2 deadline day signings, Watford, didn't feature at all. And hearing him speak, he says they've still got to integrate themselves further into the group. So you've got to fancy an Everton win here. Same for me as well, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to go for an Everton win. What's next? Who's next? What team's next?
What team is next? We have got easy one really, and it's Southampton against Liverpool. A little twist to it was the European thing. You got to say, we've not discussed that. Adrian.
Yeah, turned out to be the hero, didn't he? But the thing is, that was never a penalty. The penalty he conceded was never a pen. How VAR didn't sort of overturn that, but that's what it's supposed to be, clear and obvious mistakes. Is it that clear and obvious? Probably not. So you could say that they're doing the right thing by not overturning it, but I did think it was very harsh. But he got to save the winning pen. But he might be injured for this weekend. Or did you hear about that?
Oh dear.
No, do you know how? Do you know how he got injured?
Lifting the cup. He hadn't built up any muscles during his career to be able to.
It's actually worse than that. When he saved the winning pen, and everybody ran over to him, and Klopp ran over, so they were all in a huddle, and a fan ran on the pitch, and the fan was getting chased by the steward, and just as the fan reached the huddle, he either got pulled down by the steward or he slipped. He ended up 2-footing Adrian in the ankle, and Adrian's ankle swollen. So the Liverpool fan is basically injured, their second choice keeper. So
what a fool! What an absolute fool! Why bother? Just why? You know that. Why can't people control their emotions that much? They've gone out there. He's obviously such a big fan. He follows them home and away. Clearly, he's gone out there and they've won the trophy that he's made the travel plans to go and see. They've won it in very dramatic fashion. Second successive European trophy, whether you rate it as a big European trophy or not, it still is one. You certainly don't see Real Madrid complaining when they win it. And then you do that, and then you go and do something you know is going to get you a ban from football. It's stupid. It's just an absolutely stupid thing to do, really. Just enjoy it. Just jump up and down and cuddle the bloke next to you. That's it, really.
But do you know what's annoyed me about it? I stupidly fancy league this year. I said, to you last week, I'm going to make an effort this season. So I think it was on Monday or Tuesday. I thought I had a quick look and I thought, I'll do a couple of transfers because there was someone I was debating buying and I didn't buy him, and he did all right in game week 1. I thought, I knew I should have got him, so I thought, I need to get this guy in my team. And I had Alisson in goal, so I thought, well, I need to get him out. So I thought, okay, if I get him out, who will I put in? I thought, well, I'll just put Adrian in. I'll just have Liverpool's keeper.
All right. Well.
So now I've done this rookie error of doing my transfer early, and now
but you've got to do that transfer early, and a lot of people did that transfer, by the way. But you've got to do it early because otherwise you miss the incremental. Basic.
I thought Adrian's price would go up.
Well, exactly right. That's why you should do it, because it does incrementally. It will go up. And you've seen. So I'm looking at my team now, which is worth 100.2 million, and that's because a couple of the players have gone up. Yes, you would have missed that, but a lot of people would have done that with Adrian. So have you done another transfer to rectify that now?
Yeah, no. I've done another transfer. The team on the screen right now is Gonzo's one. That's not my team. But the transfer I did, and I paid 4 points or whatever it is. I don't know how these things work. I got rid of Perez and I brought in Martial. So Martial's is a midfielder on this one. And
that's not a bad shout.
So I was thinking, will I get him, will I not? Then he actually started as a striker against Chelsea, and Rashford was out left. So I thought, I'll balls this up. And then he went and scored. So I thought, okay, I need to get Martial in now. So I got out Alisson, Perez went out, and I got in Martial and Adrian. Cost the same money.
Hold on. Jazz is in the chat here. He says, you're wrong, Gonzo. You should always hold transfers for the first few weeks and then reassess. You get one free transfer each week, Jazza. So you don't have... I think you should... Obviously, your wild card, you certainly hold it and then reassess. But bearing in mind, you've got one free transfer there, which doesn't penalise you at all for doing it. Be silly. I mean, you'll see what I've done with my team now. I've got De Gea in and taken Alisson out.
I think you've got the wrong keeper in goal there.
Well, no, this is not my fault. That's my squad. So Alexander Arnold won't be captain for this one. I've got to... but this is just a squad. I've not actually. If you look, that's actually the starting 11 from my last game. So I've got to give it a little tweak. Loads of people have taken Silva out of their team as well, but you know what Pep's going to do? He's going to put him back in there, isn't he? So I think Rashford was a decent shout. The trouble is the West Ham stuff. It always bites me on the bum, and I never learn. And I always sort of try and make a rule: don't have any West Ham players. But you can't help yourself because you think you know them a little bit better. And obviously we were awful.
I still think Jack Wilshere is a poor player for fantasy football. I still think he's a bad player.
Well, I think for the value, he's padding. He's not even in the team. That's the point. He's worth £4.5 million or whatever he is. He's not even in the team. So,
well, there you are. There's Gonzo's fantasy league team. If we're doing another couple of previews, then we'll pop up the person that's leading the Hammers Chat Fantasy League. I've got his team to put on the screen as well, so we'll pop that up in a minute. What's the next game?
Oh, I don't know. It's all.
We've just done Villa Bournemouth. Who's next?
Villa Bournemouth. And the next one is
we
haven't said the prediction for Southampton, Liverpool, and all that.
Oh, Liverpool.
We got sidetracked.
Who's Liverpool playing away to?
Southampton.
It's got to be a Liverpool win, but the thing is, I don't know. Southampton under Hasenhüttl did well against the big teams last year. I thought he set up pretty well against them. I remember them giving Liverpool a scare. If I could be wrong, but I think they gave Liverpool a game. But when you watch the Southampton Burnley, it was only the highlights. They were just awful. They were just really bad, Southampton. So it's going to have to be an away win by default. But you always say here every week, and Liverpool, Man City, you just automatically say them two teams to win. Maybe 5 fixtures of the year you won't pick them, but there are 33 you will. So Liverpool.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Liverpool, but I do think Liverpool have got problems. And when I say problems, they're the sort of problems that West Ham would love to have. But they've got a really good team, and it's what I've probably discussed and will continue to discuss it. Without their full-backs, they just don't have sufficient cover there, and it just completely changes the way they play. And even looking at it when they played the other night, and they started with Alexander-Arnold on the bench. I think Gomez played out there. Good player, a better centre-back than right-back. He can't do what Alexander-Arnold does, which is basically cross the ball like David Beckham. It just can't do it. So they just lose so much of their balance, and you had Jordan Henderson drifting out wide to put the crosses in and stuff like that. It's odd. They've got Salah who plays wide but pulls in forward. Of course, he's left-footed. He's not going to go and whip crosses in as well. So now Liverpool will continue to win as long as they can put their best team out. But the underbelly, if you want, is just not going to be good enough in terms of depth to challenge Man City. So, but yeah, Liverpool will beat Southampton clearly.
Now, Liverpool for me. Is it the big game now?
Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace.
No, that's no then. Tell you what, if West Ham wasn't playing at 3 PM Saturday, and I thought, what game will I tune into? This is the bottom of the list. This game. This is not the one that gets your footballing senses going, does it? I don't know. It's quite hard to call this one, really, isn't it? Like, I've not seen enough of Sheffield United to judge them. I think they started Billy Sharp on the bench against Bournemouth. I know he came on and got the goal, but I thought that was a bit strange to go with McGoldrick. Not too sure about that one. But Palace, if Max Meyer had a left foot, or he was willing to hit it first time with his right foot when it came onto the wrong side, they might have won that game against Everton. But that chance was unbelievable. Did you see it when he got it?
I didn't see it, no.
He got it on the edge. He was about 8 yards out. It was there to be hit with his left foot. But instead, he took a touch and tried to get it with his right foot, and a defender blocked it and just thought, oh, you idiot, you absolute idiot. He's got to be one of the most disappointing players to date that's come to the Premier League. I know he was a free transfer, but he came with such a big reputation, didn't he? And everyone was like, why didn't we go for him? Not just West Ham fans, other clubs in the Premier League were thinking, now you're starting to see why, because he's only just gotten into the Palace first team like week in, week out, and he's not really doing it. He missed a good chance in the first half as well. Do you know something? I'm going to say Sheffield United win. I thought Bramall Lane was a very difficult place to go in the Championship. They got a big point last week away to Bournemouth, and I think they should have had a couple of goals before the first one went in at Bournemouth. If McGoldrick was a bit more clinical, they would have won that game. So I'll say Sheffield United win, but I think it'll be about a 2-1 game this.
Yeah, I think it might be a draw. They've got some good players, Palace. I'll never understand why they've not what they've done at right back to have Kelly playing there with 50 million at disposal. We asked what happened with the money with Burnley. I don't know what's going on with the money at Palace as well. There were signs in that game where Benteke looked to be match sharp, and match sharp Benteke is a decent enough player who will cause defences problems. Looked fast again, looked strong again, and they do have some decent players there. I think the way, from what I saw at Sheffield United, I think they'll be really, really lucky to get away without a penalty conceded against them. I think Zaha will be looking at that defence, the way they dive in for tackles, and licking his lips, thinking, "I'm going to have a penalty fest there." I think it's a draw or a Palace win. I'll go with a draw to be safe, but I do think they've got enough. That was as thuggish a team as I've seen for quite a while in the Premier League.
Yeah. The live chat's agreeing with me here. Jazza, Super Stubbsy and Jason all going for Sheffield United wins as well. So they're getting backed by their West Ham fans for this weekend. The next one, it's the big one now, isn't it? Man City Spurs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it's not my two favourite clubs. It has to be said, but yeah, it's I'd have to want Manchester City to win this. It's a tough one because I don't want Man City to win the league again, and I don't want Tottenham to win. So I guess a draw might be a good result here. Ndombele had the sort of debut that you'd expect him to have. Looks a really good player, and Kane's finish was really good. He's a really fine player, Harry Kane. Really good player. I
keep going. It's all right.
Man City. Jose Mourinho said, didn't he, when he was doing some punditry work, their second choice 11 could challenge for the title.
Yeah,
and I think he said
right. Who's in the title race, and he said Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Man City B.
Fair enough. I like him. I like it. I like Jose when he's not. What can it say? He looks like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders when he's got a job, doesn't he? You know, when he first jumps into a job and he's all happy and bouncy, but after a year and he's starting to fall out with people, and you look at him in press conference and he's like that, and he doesn't want to be there. When he's got no commitments, and he's actually quite a funny guy. I quite enjoy listening to him.
Yeah, he'll be the best pundit this season, I think. I think he does a lot better than listening to Thierry Henry on Sky Sports, that's for sure. Man City for me as well. I'll tell you what though, I think Pep hates playing Pochettino. You know, Pochettino manages to set up quite well against Pep. We've seen it in the Champions League last year. They need to play Eriksen though. I don't know why they left him out last week. Maybe it's because he wants to leave and there's all this contract thing going on. But he changed the game when he came on. Eriksen's world class for me. I do think he's just an absolute fantastic footballer. And you know, Spurs, you can't cut your nose off to spite your face. You know, Pochettino's had a couple of digs at Daniel Levy. Before they signed a couple of players, he had a couple of swipes at him, saying, "Well, I'm just the coach here. I don't get to buy the players. It's got nothing to do with me anymore." So there's a little bit of not a good feeling going on from Pochettino. But big game this already. Second game in. This is quite a big one. You know, Klopp will be rooting for Spurs in this one because, you know, he needs teams to take the points off City more than anyone this season, so he'll be wanting them to win. Did you see Man City's? Man City had a massive dig at Dom today.
No, I didn't. But JP Hammer, our own Hammer's Chat's own JP Hammer, who I think just does so much technical work behind the scenes, he's like a little hamster on the wheel. You just see Hammer's Chat. He does so much stuff on coding and different bits and pieces. We could do it without him. He's going on a caravan holiday, so he phoned me up just to see if there's anything else needed doing with the website and whatnot. And he said that. So he told me, but I've not seen it. Yeah. I mean, firstly, I've got to say I've not seen the clip. All right, but from what I hear, I don't think Dom's opinion is vastly different to my own about Manchester City. I've said I think it'd be very, very unhealthy if Man City win it for the third year in a row, which I sort of...
It's been taken out of context. Dom was saying it's boring because City are winning everything, but people have taken out of context as Dom saying it's boring to watch Man City, but that's not what he was saying. But the Man City official account have then taken out of context as well by saying, you know, it's boring. Then he's got Raheem Sterling laughing at it and stuff as well. Gundogan looking at it going, as if to say, like, are you sure it's boring and stuff? So yeah, Man City like had a right good pop at dawn with their promo for the Spurs game this week. So
I'd Nicky be loving that. I'd love that. I'd say Dom would love that. It's happy times, really. It's good publicity, really. There's nothing wrong with what he said, I don't think.
The head of media, or someone involved with the media at Man City, on LinkedIn says something like, he put up the clip and he says something along the lines of, it's important to know what your fans are talking about on social media and to use it like in a positive way for engagement and stuff. And I just thought, well, A, he's right, and B, he's done it. Like, he's done exactly that. He's taken what the fans are chatting about and got it bang on. Got a question in the live chat for you. Ruben Blosh says, after just 2 months, Luka Jovic has failed to impress at Real Madrid. What do you think of this?
I've not.
There's rumours that Zidane's already fed up with him and is basically ready to loan him out before the transfer window around Europe shuts.
Well, Zidane just needs to get a grip. I mean, great player and all that. If anybody has lucked in, I don't know. It's a tough one. Can you luck? What was it? 3 Champions Leagues? Was it 3? Did Zidane win 3 Champions Leagues as a manager?
So.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to say, and I guess it sounds ridiculous to say that he's lucked it, but I don't think he's a very good manager. He seems to.
Nah.
He could. No.
No, how can you say he's lucked it? He won the Champions League. He won La Liga. He won. Then when he left, they fell apart.
Did he win the Liga?
I think so.
I don't think he did. I don't know. Someone will put us right in the in the thing. No, I think he's done well in knockout football, and but I think since Ronaldo's left, it's all that was done by Ronaldo basically. And Ronaldo was turning up for those Champions League games, and Gareth Bale. I think he's got no man management skills, and I think he's not tactically very good either. I think in the league, didn't Atletico Madrid actually finish ahead of them as well? So the fact that he's full, like I always say to you, Geo, people are generally consistent, and if the only person he'd ever fell out with was Jovic, but to everybody else Zidane was a swell guy, then you'd think, oh, hold on, there's something wrong with Jovic. Actually, the fact that Zidane falls out with loads and loads of people, I think it's far more reflective of Zidane than it is Jovic. And if I was Jovic, and I said the same about Bale, I'd hang around, because I don't think Zidane's very good. I don't know where they are in the league. I say this without looking at the league. Obviously, if they're top of the league by 7 points.
I think it kicks off this weekend.
Well, how can you not have impressed then?
Like in pre-season and stuff.
Well, I
don't think he's maybe not fell out with Jovic though. There's a difference between not being impressed by and falling out. He's fell out with Gareth Bale. There's no getting away from that. But there's no evidence so far that he's actually fell out with Jovic. He's just maybe not impressed, or he's just looked at him and thought, not what I want here, etc. So I don't know, but I do think he was the manager. He was appointed the manager when they signed him. So
yeah, well they do.
Yeah, they buy the Galacticos, if you like. That's what they like to do.
Yeah, I mean, it might not have been his signing, though, because the president does have a free reign to sign who he wants, doesn't he? But my hunch is that he inherited a bunch of very good players, and particularly with Ronaldo, either the best or the second best player, not only in the world, but possibly of the last 30 years, 40 years, whatever. And I think that sort of got him through in those tournaments. I think without one of the world all-time greats in his team, I think he's struggling. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win much. To be fair, I don't think he'll win La Liga. I don't think he'll win anything this season. I don't think he'll keep his job.
But he's already won stuff.
What I'm saying is, this is the thing. This is not even an opinion thing. I'm giving a prediction. Do you know what I mean? I think he only won stuff when he had Cristiano Ronaldo in the team. That's what I'm saying. And because Cristiano Ronaldo managed to get Ramos, I think they're all a bunch of tossers, actually, quite frankly. Ronaldo and Ramos and all of those, what's his name, Marcelo, the left back, they're all a bunch of prima donnas, but they are hugely talented. And I think in those games, he inherited those, and they decided to do it. Could he tactically do it week in, week out? And no, I don't think he can. I think when you lose those world-class players, I just don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to lose his job. And I think he'll lose his job because the other teams, Barcelona definitely, possibly Atletico Madrid, will probably pull away from Real Madrid because I don't think Zidane tactically has got it. As I say, we'll see. I will either look silly or I'll look right on this, but I can't see it without the world's best player. I don't think he'll do it. I think he'll lose his job. And I think Manchester United dodged a bullet. Not that I think Solskjaer's particularly good, but I think they dodged a bullet. I don't think Zidane is one of the world's best managers.
I think he's also got something about him. If you win the league and you win 3 Champions Leagues, whether you've got the best player in the world or not, you've got something about you because, well, I don't think Ronaldo was the best player, second best. But also, when Ronaldo went to Juventus, they didn't win the Champions League, so it can't be just purely Ronaldo. And I would argue that Juventus' other 10 players are possibly better than Real Madrid's 10 players. It's just right.
As I say, it's not. We'll see. We'll see. I would predict that's his trophy haul. If he's Pep Guardiola and he's on that sort of level, and he's a somebody said in the chat, okay, it's gone now. Zidane is a world-class manager. If that is the case, he will either stay at Madrid and win loads more trophies with a totally different set of players and build a new team, or he'll go on to another club and do the same thing. I think it's over. I think it's gone. I don't think he's winning anything else unless again he lucks a PSG job and he wins the French title or something like that. I think it's gone. I think it's finished for Zidane.
I think he's a good manager. World class. I wouldn't say that yet. You've got to do it over a longer period of time. I always say to Gonzo that managers have a lifespan, and I do believe that, and few buck the trend. Carlo Ancelotti is probably the number one for me, current manager that has bucked the trend and been just world class for years. You get managers that will be at the top of the game for 5-6 years, and then they'll just fade away because they get caught out a little bit, or they become stubborn, their ego, whatever it is, something goes wrong for them and they don't manage to stay at the top. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, Fantasy League, we're going to jump back to that quickly because we've only got 10 minutes left, because someone deserves a little bit of credit. How many is in the league? About 1,000 roughly.
Near enough, mate. Near enough.
1,000 people in the league, and this guy is top after week number 1. Here is his team. Gonzo.
No, go. Sorry, I thought you were saying Gonzo's top after. Alas, I am not top. I'm 800th or something. But this is Kevin Barber's team, and it's a complete fluke. Let's be fair. Does
that C mean he's triple captained him? Is that why it's white instead of blue?
I don't think he's. Is he triple captain? What did Salah do? Score? No.
He scored 2, didn't he?
Did he? But no, I mean, and if he got man of the match, because you can actually see if we click on it. Okay, so goals scored 1, which is points 5. He got assists 1, which is 3. That's 8. Bonuses 2, so that's 10. Plus 2 points. I think you may well be right.
Okay,
you may well be right.
That's why he's top then, because he's used his triple captain thing early doors.
Yeah, okay. Sterling, who
got a hat trick.
I've got a brilliant. Obviously, I regret that. Have you got Sterling in your team?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Dunk, which is a great call. Great call. De Gea got 10 points. Kelly, who I slagged off earlier.
I've got that Lundstram too. He's on my bench because he's actually playing midfield for Sheffield United. So he's a defender.
Okay, sure,
he's a defender in Fantasy League, but he's playing in midfield, so slightly higher chance of getting a goal or something.
I mean, what is funny is looking at his team. His substitutes basically have not got any points, but I don't think that's a bad thing at all, really, because he's spent so big to have Salah and Sterling and Aubameyang and Kane and De Gea in your team. You're going to have to save money elsewhere. I mean, I found it tough, and I couldn't afford, Sterling and Salah, players like that. They cost so much money. He's bought the cheapest of the cheap and put them on the bench, and he's even got Greenwood in there. And I think he's sort of banking on Greenwood not coming off the bench or something like that. He can't even afford 10. He can't even afford 11 first team players. So, but he's bought well, and he's obviously thinking, "Oh, if I get enough superstars in there with Sterling, Salah, Aubameyang, Kane, as I said."
That's not adventurous for me. I always think of it as a challenge that you've got to find the one or two players that are cheap, that are going to do well, and that's why I went for Buendia, the Norwich winger, because I think he's quite cheap. Not many people have him, but I think he'll get quite a decent haul of points this season.
I have noticed that Jazza in the chat has been boasting. I've got to say, Jazza's been boasting about his fantasy league prowess. Jazza, what you can do is after next week, if you send us on any way you want to contact us, send us a screenshot it, and then send it in, and then we'll feature it on the show, and then we can, because you're obviously in the live chat, we'll pop it up. Well, obviously each week we do it, we'll feature whoever's top. I find it quite hard searching for people through the. I don't think it's got a very good search facility, actually, this fantasy, unless I'm doing something wrong. But I think, a very, very, very well done, because that's a huge number of points. That says Kevin Barber. I would actually say that Matthew Kemp. Is that Kemp? Is that Kempy? Is that Oles one? Who's in second place with 104 points? I'd be interested to know.
Triple captain. Everyone's triple captaining.
But I'm I was bad. How many points did you score, Gio?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, not much.
Oh, right, okay.
I've got Sterling and Aubameyang, but my other players didn't turn up. Aller, Lanzini didn't turn up. Didn't produce the goods for me. But Richarlison, Perez. Hashtag Geo out. My own fantasy league wants me sacked.
Yeah, the season is early. Terence is saying, Geo Gonzo, I had so many people watching on Facebook Live, but my TV's shut down. I don't know what he's saying. What's he mean?
Apparently, I think he rips our stream off and streams it on his Facebook profile page.
He pirates it. Terence,
I'm not sure. I think that's what he does.
I'm glad he's crashed.
He's stealing the views.
You got to watch it for official channels.
There you go.
Imagine how bad the sound is if you're watching it streaming through Facebook.
Luckily, he's got a problem, so hopefully they'll come find us their own way. But anyway, we'll quickly run through the other Premier League. We've got 5-10 minutes, so we've got Premier League games next. So we're both going for a Man City win. So Sunday, who's playing Sunday? I know the Monday game, but I don't know who's playing Sunday. We've not included Chelsea though, so they're playing someone.
Yeah, Chelsea Leicester.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Leicester beat Chelsea last season with Jamie Vardy gone.
Do you know something though? I think Chelsea played quite well at Old Trafford in the first half. 4-0 was because of counter-attacking football in the last 10 minutes, and Chelsea just given up. I thought they played quite well against Liverpool in the Super Cup. I thought they played quite good.
I agree.
So
do you see Tammy Abraham got a load of stick, like racist shit, for missing a penalty?
But the worst thing about it, Gonzo, is I'm not surprised. That's the.
Why would you? It's weird. It's weird. Why you would? I don't know why you would go online and give him stick anyway. Why you go online and start getting racial about him missing a penalty or anything? It's weird.
Because they're small-minded people, and it's probably anonymous people as well. It won't be someone with a real face and name and stuff. It won't be people. It'll be I don't know. Angry Alonso. That's what some Chelsea football account will be called, Angry Alonso or something like that. I'll tell you what though, that's one player that has really impressed me. It's only 2 games in.
He looks good. He looks sharp. We see him in the first game. He didn't score, but he took the ball and he turned and shot like with a lot of whip on it. Really good shot.
It's Emerson for people that think Alonso. No, Emerson has looked really, really good in the first couple of games. I thought Mason Mount looked really good as well, especially against Liverpool. I think he'll start against Leicester and hold his own as well. So I think they'll do okay, Chelsea. Going by what I've seen so far, I think they'll do all right. They're not going to be big hitters, but do okay. Leicester, what was their result last weekend? I can't remember it.
They drew 0-0 with Wolves, I think.
That was it, because Wolves had the goal disallowed from VAR, which was a bit good point for Leicester, I guess. But I think they had one too many midfielders in the team. I remember seeing the starting 11 now, actually, and they had Ndidi, Tielemans and Chowdhury playing. I thought, last season they were playing Ndidi and Tielemans, then they were having Barnes, Maddison and Gray. But maybe it's because it's Wolves away, and well, they're not going to change it for Chelsea, are they? But hopefully, from an attacking point of view, we'll see them switch back to the 4-2-3-1. I'll go for a score draw on this one, Gonzo.
Yeah, it's a bit. I like Chowdhury, good young player. Ndidi and him in the same team now. I'm not so sure about that. But Chowdhury's good. Going to have a good career. I liked Pulisic for Chelsea. I like him. Quick, whippy.
Direct. I thought he was very direct.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Full of running, really good. Chelsea. Echo everything you said about them. I think they look good. I think they look. He works a passing one again. They look to outnumber people. Look to make little triangles as quickly as they can. He's obviously got a way of playing. Impressed with him, Lampard. Impressed with Gerrard as well. Gerrard's got I know it's why would we be talking about Gerrard, but got a lot of authority about him. He looks like the boss. He comes across like the boss, doesn't he? It's not always that you carry that authority. Not everybody can. I think a lot of players they go into management and you wouldn't cross Gerrard if you were a player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd think, oh, crikey. I think Lampard's got that about him. A bit more character, a bit more personality, maybe Lampard. But again, I think they're both going to do really well.
Yeah, I think Rangers might win the league up here this year. Neil Lennon's crap. He's just awful. We're going off the sidetrack here. They're the Champions League. But long story short, they're the Champions League qualifier during the week. Big game, and he played their best centre midfielder at left back. He's just such a bad manager. I think Rangers will win the league. So there you go. Early season prediction for me. Is there any other Sunday games? I hope there is.
I think it's just we discussed it with Sheffield United, Crystal Palace. So that just leaves Monday, which is Monday night football. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Manchester United.
I'm really looking forward to this. There was good games last season. Wolves beat them both times, but Wolves were an FA Cup and the league at them all anew. Wolves really went at them. But good to watch. They rested their first 11 last night in the Europa League. They won 4-0 in the first leg, so they rested their first 11. So the Europa League won't be bothering Wolves. This one be a very tough game, a different game compared to what Man U were up against Chelsea last weekend. And do you know something? I'm going to say a Wolves win. I think while Man U were impressive against Chelsea, there was a lot to be concerned about, if you like. I think Maguire looked really good against Chelsea. I thought him and McTominay were absolutely fantastic defensively for them. And both times, I think both the goals, the third and fourth one maybe, came from one of them doing a tackle or an interception and giving the ball straight away to someone. And just boom, away they went. And I thought that's how important. You've got a defensive midfielder or a defender who is A, good at tackling and interception, but also B, good with the ball at his feet and also quick at getting rid of it. That's how quick you can counter-attack. Both times McTominay and Maguire got the ball, gave it to someone else, and Man United were away. And Wolves are quite an open team, so Man United might get a little bit of luck, especially with the formation that Wolves play as well. But I'll say a 3-2 win. I'm feeling a real goal fest on Monday night, actually. I'm going to go the other way. I think Man United. It's a different Man United they played last season. I think he's got some of the players in that he wanted, and they're going to play counter-attacking football as well. They weren't the best team. We spoke about Chelsea. They weren't the best team for the first half of that game, but they defended well. And just on the break, Rashford, Martial, we mentioned earlier, on the break with Pogba releasing the passes, who's as good as anyone at doing that job. I think they're going to have a bit too much for Wolves. It was nice to see Gibbs White score for Wolves in last night. As you say, they put out their second team. So, but yeah, I've got to go with Man United. I just want to Terence is in the chat here. He's saying, Geo Gonzo, was it okay
to go Facebook Live. It's up to you to look. Terence, I mean,
do
I
what
don't know
you
what
want.
you need.
Other people use our videos and we don't know about it, so
Yeah, I mean, you're probably better off if it's crashing. You're probably better off sticking the link in your Facebook and putting a YouTube. I mean, you can watch YouTube on Facebook. You're probably better off just grabbing the link and then put it up there, and then the screen it was on there rather than trying to nick the feed from here and then put it on another screen to then put it on Facebook. The less what should we say? The less links there are between a broadcast, the more smoothly it's going to run. I didn't know that though. I didn't know people did such a thing. So.
Just quickly, a couple of people left some questions on Gonzo's post on YouTube earlier. I'm not gonna use the West Ham ones because we'll do a cup of tea next week or the following week, so I'll keep the West Ham ones for that. First one from Charlie Holland. What have you thought of the promoted clubs given the limited amount we've seen them? Villa impressed him in the first half against Spurs. We sort of touched on it in the previews, but to be fair, all three of them have impressed me so far.
Yeah, and Norwich, I like the Norwich thing as well because Norwich seem to have an ethos and a way of playing which I really like. Actually, to be fair, Sheffield United got a way of playing. It's just not quite as handsome as Norwich's way. Villa, it's a little bit hard to see because they've done the complete opposite to Norwich, so they're trying to do it with signings. So yeah, I think you would sort of gravitate more towards Norwich, but they've all done well. There's been a lot of surprises, but they've done well in the first week certainly.
Yeah, they've all impressed me, but Norwich I'm really looking forward to watching more of. James Gunn, the reason we're doing this early tonight is because Gonzo's busy in the evening. So James Gunn says, "What's Gonzo doing later in the evening?"
Oh right, I'm going down. I'm going down to my mum's, which is down in Dorset. And then I'm picking up my son, and then we are driving from Dorset to Brighton, which you'd think is down on the coast. It's a horrible drive. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. So obviously we're going to the game tomorrow. Yes, I've got to get ready. Sort of, all that stuff. I'm getting ready. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going down to Mum's, and then I've got 2 or 3 days down at the coast, going to Lyme Regis and different places. So looking forward to it. Actually, got 2 or 3 days off work, which should be good. Thank you for asking.
Enjoy it. I put up a post as well, and I got a couple of questions. Finn Lucky says, do you think Moise Keane will make it in the Premier League? Seems like a big risk Everton have taken with him.
I don't know. I've not seen enough of him. They've certainly paid big money. And they've paid big money before for players. I mean, Balassi is one. I thought he'd work out and he had Premier League experience. I don't think it's a massive risk for Everton because I remember the owner's name now, but he's minted. Absolutely minted, and I think he's also part bankrolled by Usmanov, who was at Arsenal and has got about 22. But I think between them they've got about 50 billion. So I don't actually think it's a risk. If it doesn't work out, they'll go and buy another striker next season for 35 million. But I don't know if he's going to be good or not, I'm afraid.
I think it is. It's a calculated risk, just like Sebastian Haller is for West Ham. But the guy is one of the most sort of. If you look at all the people his age in the European football, I think he's 20 years old. You look at all the 20-year-olds, you have to look at him as having the most potential as a striker, if you like. I think he's a fantastic bit of business. I think his price tag's reasonable for what you're getting. I think he'll do well. Calvert-Lewin started against Palace, and Calvert-Lewin works hard. His movement's really good, but his finishing is really poor as a striker. I really don't. If I was an Everton fan, I'd be tearing my hair out watching Calvert-Lewin as a striker because he does everything up until all he has to do is stick it in the net, and he just can't do it. I think he'd be a fantastic player to have playing off the striker, doing all the hard work, and letting someone just knock it in the back of the net. The last question is from Ben Davies. I've got Cancelo in my fantasy league team. Do you think I should swap him for Wan-Bissaka? I'm going to say yes.
The trouble is Cancelo is a wonderful player. What a brilliant player. I couldn't believe they got him. Actually, why wouldn't I believe they got him? City can go and buy anyone. The trouble is with City, they've got 2 players for every position, and you almost get, if we name it now for the season, let's call it Bernardo Silva syndrome. And that is, they've got a wonderfully talented player and they don't necessarily have to play him.
I would call it the Mahrez syndrome.
Yeah, but it's the same thing, isn't it? It's so you may well get Silva Mahrez syndrome.
I think you'll get more bang for your buck.
Well, because he's going to play every game. Wan-Bissaka's going to play every game.
He plays.
Yeah, it's as simple as that, really. So, but I'm sure when he does play in the games that he plays and he starts, Cancelo will dazzle because he is a wonderful. They got some fine players, Portugal. Some really, really good players. Fantastic, actually, really fantastic players coming through.
Is there anything else you would like to discuss before you disappear on your holiday?
Yes, well, no, Gonzo going to Lyme Regis, says Charlie, isn't that well west from Dorset? It's about as West Dorset as you can get. It's right on the border of Dorset and Devon. But I'm only going there on a day trip. I'm actually going down to Poole, really, for most of the time. So I'll be going left and right. I think is that you that's asked for any final questions?
Yeah, just while you were chatting about Dorset.
Okay. Gonzo, have I been a naughty boy? From Terence. Terence, you've not been a naughty boy. I just didn't know anybody was doing it, and I'm just saying you've gone through. It's quite tenuous and convoluted what you've done to take this and then put it on. You're probably easier if you wanted to watch it on your Facebook stream feed. Is that what it's called? You're probably better off just taking this and then just posting it in there rather than running it through another thing. But I don't know anything about it. I find Facebook quite complicated to use, I've got to say. I've just started using the marketplace, which I like. I like the marketplace. That's very good. I've got a load of stuff for the man cave from the marketplace, so there's some good local bargains to be had, and I do love a bargain. Anyway, Terence, honestly, don't worry about it. Forget about it, and don't you don't need to message anymore about it. Honestly, forget about it, mate. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, we'll start wrapping it up. I'm going to play the outro. We're trying something a little bit different tonight, so stick with it. It's only going to last 20 seconds.
Okay. Yes, do you want to just videos? Do you want to tell everybody videos coming up over the weekend?
Gonzo will have his instant reaction on this channel straight at full time. On the main channel, I'll be going live with Charlie and Tom straight after. And we might have some videos on Sunday from the game as well, so make sure you pop along. And hopefully we'll try and get a cup of tea in next week, maybe, if there's enough to talk about. And also we'll have our Watford preview, etc. There's two questions quickly. West Ham clips. What would be harder to give up, alcohol or tea and coffee?
We've had this one recently in a cup of tea. For me, it'd be it was beer, wasn't it? I think tea, believe it or not, tea and coffee, because it's a daily thing, and contrary to what many people believe, I certainly don't drink every day, so I think I'd probably find that harder.
Yeah.
Yourself, Gio?
Yeah, I would find it harder to give up tea as well, actually. And the last question we're going to take is from Charlie, which is best fast food establishment.
I mean, pizza's really good food, but the older I get, the worse it is for me. I don't know if Nando's is classed as fast food. It does come pretty quick, doesn't it? But you sit down for it. I really like Nando's. Everybody likes Nando's, don't they?
It's a restaurant.
Is it?
Yeah.
I find McDonald's a bit bland. Whenever I say to the kids, "Do you want, what you want to eat?" and they say McDonald's, I sort of persuade them and try and talk them out of it. Because I do find it a bit bland. I find KFC a lot nicer, and McDonald's, I find Burger King nicer than McDonald's. Fast food, I would probably go for pizza if I could only ever eat one, but it does make me,
Burger King for the fast food establishments. I'll have to say Burger King. Their burgers are by far better than Maccadee's, but I do prefer Maccadee's milkshake and McFlurry and fries to Burger King. So it's a bit of a trouble, which do you...
Oh, KFC chips. Sorry. What are they doing? Why have they done that with the chips? The chips are disgusting. The peel is on. The peel from the potato. They're soggy and limp and floppy.
Look what you've done, Charlie. Look what you've done.
No crispiness to them.
Oh,
unseasoned. It's disgusting. They just got it together. They had just managed to get all their chips together, right?
How do I mute Gonzo?
And then about a year ago, they changed their chips. Now I don't bother. If I could, I would get the McDonald's chips, fries, as they're called, fries with the KFC. That's it. That's my final words.
Oh, you're lucky because I've just found the mute button. I was just tempted to push it. But anyway, let's try this. Let's try this new outro. Stick around for 10 seconds. I was going to give you the outro, but I'm going to do that. You'll hear it in a second. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Live with Geo and Gonzo, talking about the Premier League and the Fantasy League. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. But it's goodbye from me and Gonzo. Enjoy your holiday. Say goodbye. See you tomorrow.